profanities, bitch and slut and fuck you. I mean, loud as shit. In the middle of that was queef cookie and just blah, blah, blah. And so he went back to electronics section and cranked that bitch at like a $300 Walmart stereo.
Oh,
It hit play and we left, or didn't leave, but went like to the toy section or something. So you're just hearing bitch and fuck you. And about that time, loud as fuck, I heard queef cookie. And dude, I died. I just fucking spit myself laughing on the ground. I was like, dude, this shit that we used to. Okay. I mean, I'm also a licensed radio operator. I don't know if you know what that is, but I have a license through the FCC. Okay. You know what it is. Well, there's equipment in that you can have a lot of fun with. And back in the day, probably 15 years ago or so, maybe a little bit more, fast food places, they're using radio frequencies. Like say you're in the drive-through and they're like, oh, thank you for coming to McDonald's. How can I help you? Oh yeah, I'll need our number one with cheese, whatever.
Mhm.
Well, from my house, 20 miles away, 15 miles away, I could transmit via like the employee would to the people in drive-through from Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's. No, I don't think I could do Dairy Queen, but anyway, several different fast food places around town. And I was miles away. I had the radio equipment to do that. You can't imagine how much fun you can have doing that. Like you get drunk off Captain Morgan and be like, you don't need an extra cheese, you ugly fucker, or whatever. Because now the customer thinks the employee's yelling at them like that and they're pissed off, and then now the employee has no clue what's going on, You can, there's all kinds of shit you can do, man.
That's hilarious.
Okay, this is bad, but this is actually the first time I actually I actually Googled what that was.
A queef cookie?
Yeah, I didn't
I've
have
never
any idea.
Googled it. Good, more power to you. Have that on your search history.
I just wanted to know what it was, and now I do. I'm like,
You
wow,
were right.
okay.
You are nosy.
I told you I am. I don't know what something means. I like to know what it means.
I don't want to know what it means. I'll just put those two words together and no.
It's not supposed to mean anything.
It actually does, though.
One is a delicious pastry. The other is not something I want to mix with a delicious pastry. Just saying. The point to the story is you don't name yourself something. She's over researching it.
But I still want to know what the fuck it is. Leave me alone.
It wasn't supposed to have a meaning. That's the bad part.
But it did have a meaning.
I'm sure it does. Just about anything's going to have a meaning, but that. But. Oh
Look at your messenger. No, he's going to get to know.
Don't send me nothing.
I don't want to know.
If I want to know, I'll look it up my damn self.
I'm not sending you anything. Oh, you're safe for now. I won't even say it out loud.
I could look it up one time. I can go into incognito mode.
It's not that dirty.
Dirty enough. I know what both those words are. I'm good. Nothing wrong with either one of them, but together would no. I'm not going to say things in front of a lady. Nuh-uh.
Oh, that's just what the first word means. I already knew that.
Yeah.
You didn't know that's what that was called?
No.
Oh, really?
Did not. And cookie is just the way that I figured. It's like cookie. I mean, I can't imagine anything else.
A whole other kind of Chips Ahoy.
You're fucked for that one. I snorted.
Yes. You didn't call me savage for nothing.
That's funny. Oh, Lordy.
It makes it funny because she laughed at that and didn't know what one of the words meant. That's funny.
Well, honestly, I thought
I'm not saying it was funny that you didn't know. You know something's funny when they laugh at it and they don't know what one of the words are just because it sounds funny,
Mm-hmm.
No, I honestly thought I knew what it meant, and then I wanted to look it up to make sure I actually knew the meaning of it, and then I was wrong, and it was funnier.
I did know that Zeno laughed a little harder.
Oh, I knew exactly what it was.
Yeah.
That's why when you were talking about putting them together, I was like, oh, God, no.
Yeah, the point of that was not to harp on those two words. It was just back to the Discord thing. There should be an
Nice.
entire conversation about that.
But it's good though. It's funny as fucking.
Uh,
Somewhere somebody had this conversation about what to actually call it, so it was a topic of discussion for somebody somewhere.
yeah, the buddies of mine that made the damn recording. And what's weird is I think after the fact, I think they had got it from a YouTube video that was from years ago. And so there may be a YouTube video that they got it from that's, 18 years old or 15, whatever. It wasn't something I went looking for.
It's definitely not something that you go looking for.
It was funny as shit in Walmart though, man. Because you're like 10 aisles over. You just hear people just yelling, bitch, fuck you, just loud.
Beef cookie.
Yeah, that's when I snorted myself, man. Like straight snot was on my chin and I was out of that store. I was gone. Because it don't matter they don't know who's guilty or not, but I was a big suspect from that point on. Because you can't walk with a straight face after hearing that like at 120 decibels throughout Walmart.
That is funny as hell.
Because everybody else was like, oh my god, that's just horrible. I'm snotting myself. Fucking bubbles coming out and shit. No.
That's funny.
About to say, yeah, if they didn't know before, I think they do now. Are those ain't on yet? Why those ain't come on yet? Why is it on here?
Did I tell you there was a freaking armadillo in my yard the other night? Just like not even freaking out. I went outside to take the dog out one last time, blah blah, and obviously I take a flashlight. And he was chilling, dude. He was just rutting around, just like I walked up like 2 feet from him and he didn't care. A lot of times armadillos can run like fast. They can haul. I mean, they'll catch air going over little hills. They can move. He's fuck you. I don't care. I'm gonna eat whatever. I was like, all right. So I tell my dog to get away from him. Because, I've got livestock and stuff, and armadillos aren't really a problem, but I thought it was a chicken or a baby goat or something like that, Baby goats are adorable. They're so much fun.
They are. Actually, my mom had a goat, and we had one growing up. Don't know what happened to it, but it was adorable. Ran around and started like hitting everybody in the butt.
Yeah, we raise we have Nigerian dwarf goats, which are basically just goats with dwarfism. Basically, they're just real short. But my buck, you'll get a kick out of the buck's name. His name is Shooter. I thought that was funny. But he put a fucking carrot between his horns the other day, and he just froze. Like I hit the pause button on him. Just stood there, dude, for like 5 fucking minutes. So he looked like a little fucking unicorn. He just had one little horn sticking out I got pictures of this shit, dude. He just stood there. I was like, Shooter, you okay, buddy? Just like he was frozen.
That's like the one, like when they're running and they have that fucking stiff moment where they get all stiff and they fall.
Oh, that's the fainting goats. That's a different breed. Now we had a baby just the other day that's half fainting goat, and I haven't seen it. A funny story about fainting goats, dude. No bullshit. I was in high school and we were sighting in a buddy of mine's 300 Savage deer rifle, and his mom came out screaming at us that we were fucking shooting her goats and stuff, and blah blah blah. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because he had a pasture full of fainting goats, and we'd fucking one of them and fall over in the pasture. And so now we had to have fun with it, Now we're like, oh hell yeah, get over there closer to him, shooting the ground. Like the objective was no longer the objective anymore. We just wasted ammo. Fucking just blasting off rounds, watching them just fall over. What's fun is doing it with like playground equipment. Like you have little slides, because like my goats have things to play on, and they'll jump around and stuff, but they don't faint. Where I'm raising the Nigerian dwarfs and just happen to have one little half-bred thing, and probably going to get rid of her, but I'm hoping that she does do it. It's just adorable, but they'll hurt themselves doing it. Now there's some up at the zoo. Yeah, well, the zoo they have. It's kind of a byproduct. Like they changed owners a couple years ago, and that was part of it. Actually, it was kind of like the old owner. That was like his survival food, literally. He raised these Nigerian dwarf goats for, milk and cheese and meat, and then when they sold it, that came with it, and so they're just like byproducts now.
Yeah.
Because when you have a zoo, say your property's worth, 5 million or whatever. Well, the inventory is worth, consider, there's a lot of money in that silly stuff. For example, like that freaking little Hamadryas baboon, they're like $60,000 or $80,000. It's like, what the fuck, And we went to one of their 4th of July parties, and we're just chilling next to the pool, eating a burger and shit. And there's like $500,000 worth of monkeys just bouncing around, just running around the backyard. And you're like, what the fuck? You people are crazy.
Jeez.
But just a different level. I've been broke before, like where you get money and you end up putting a little salad shrimp in the ramen, and you feel like you got somewhere in life. You're like, hell yeah.
It's the simple thing.
Fuck yeah, it is.
That's like with Jazzy, she started making fried rice. So it's
I love
like
fried rice, yeah.
It's like, hell yeah, we got fried rice now, bitch.
Fried rice is awesome. You can do, and it's never like the same, at least in my experience, as like getting at a restaurant. We used to order. There was a place, a half mile down the road, and we would get, when I lived in Plano, and get like large fried rice because it's a lot of food. And I would like add some sauces to it and shit, and it would feed my wife and I and 2 kids, and it was like $12 delivered.
I do. I make usually do like shredded chicken. I'll put chicken in the crock pot and let it slow cook, and then pull it out and I just shred it, and we'll mix it in with the rice, soy sauce, and eggs.
Damn good.
Yeah, it's definitely filling.
Hell yeah, I started doing doing twists on ramen and shit, and turning ramen like amazing. We have mixed veggies in it. But what you do is you don't cook the ramen all the way. Like cook it like a minute, 20 seconds or something like that, where it's just now broke apart, and you spray cold water on it, and then you treat it like just like fried rice at that point. Have a burner on it, like piping hot, put like a high temperature oil in it, and it's totally different than it would be if you just microwaved it.
Yeah.
It's weird that when you're broke, you come up with all these broke ass recipes, and then when you actually have a little bit of money, you're like, dude, I want the broke ass food again.
Yeah, it's like
all kinds of shit that we eat, biscuits and gravy, and any kind of Mexican food, is all.
It's like you get money, and it's like, man, why am I spending money on this? I could eat so much more if I just spend $10.
Yeah, it's like.
Like I think the big rice thing we get is like what, $3?
Yeah, if that.
And then
it's like one bowl of rice.
Like we get a big bag. We get like a big bag. It's like a 10-pound bag, 20-pound bag.
And it lasts forever.
Of the boneless chicken breast.
Yep.
And I just drop it in the slow cooker, frozen.
Yeah, just leave it in there all day.
Just leave it in there for like 4 or 5 hours. I leave it low and just leave it in there for like 4 or 5 hours.
I used to do contract work for this company called Barrister Global, and when I moved up to DFW, I was on a 21-day billing cycle, meaning that if I did a job for them, I wouldn't get paid for it for 28 days, basically, a month. And I normally kept track of all that kind of shit. And my oldest son was a baby. Of course, I made sure he had baby food, formula, and formula was expensive. Had everything that he needed, but, we were slacking. We were... and I remember asking my wife, and I was like, hey, will you call this other bank account, which is where the Barrister money went into, and just see if we've got enough money to go get some, like, McDoubles. Like, can't even afford the double cheeseburger, the McDoubles,
Mm-hmm.
And she calls, and it was back when you had to call, and it would tell you your account balance. And her eyes got all big, and I was like, what? And I was like, was there $10 or anything on it? She goes, how about 700? And I was like, what the fuck? And dude, we went to Walmart, man. We were eating steak and shrimp, and literally, and I was just praying for to go get a double cheeseburger. Just at that time, it was my apartment was $1,900 a month. McKinney is expensive, and shit was just expensive. And babies don't need much, but you buy a lot of shit for them to make your life easier. You know, I found out like the kid can sleep in a drawer, you know, with some towels
Oh
or
yeah,
something.
and they'll be absolutely content.
But you buy crap to make your life better, and then you buy it and you're like, we didn't really need that damn swing, you know, but my leg is numb now from rocking little shit for an hour. You know, so you just, and there's just times I made sure, you know, that, you know, we had everything, you know, electric was paid, water was paid, all kind of shit, but you're like, well, we got $12 for 4 days worth of food, you know?
Yep.
I mean, times have changed, but it was just like, fuck. So yeah, I'm not surprised when there was like $700 on the thing, dude. And we still didn't even splurge. I mean, we splurged, but we didn't go out to eat. Still went to Walmart, you know, and got stuff. And it's like, hell yeah. Now, worst come to worst, you know, I've got a freaking rifle next to me. I could shoot something in the pasture and eat it if I had to. I don't want to, but I could. The next project we need to work on is what's called F1 Tiger Stripes, which is where you take a Brahma bull and a heifer cow. You breed them together and they come out as tiger stripe. Problem is, that's expensive damn little hobby. So, hoping my dad would be like, you know, hey, you want to go and have some of this shit?
It's absolutely wrong that I'm getting creeped out by my own Halloween room.
It makes sense.
Why are you getting
It's
creeped out
creepy.
of the...
It's creepy. That's why I'm getting creeped out. It's creepy.
She'll start to like wonder if, like, did I hear that freaking rocking chair slide?
Steve-O told me I needed to go to therapy.
He probably needs it more than anybody.
He took the,
He built a shower in a fucking video game. You want to compare notes?
Hey, he likes to live sophisticated, okay?
I love messing with British people because I love saying biscuits and gravy, especially people from Scotland. Because they're like, "Why would you put gravy on a biscuit?" Because you know it's a different thing. And obviously, I know what a biscuit is to them, and I know I get all that. But it's just a fun argument to have.
Yeah, it's like a form of cracker, isn't it?
No, it's a cookie. It's like if you go to the dollar, you know the shitty cookies at the dollar store. They're like a big ass pack for like $1.50. That's what they call a biscuit. And you know they still have cookies, but that's what we would call a cookie. You know, we have good cookies and shitty cookies. They have biscuits and cookies. And I went down this rabbit hole for years, and I've got friends all over the world and stuff. And I'm like, okay, you send me a picture of like the quintessential biscuit. Like the brand and everything. And I'm not bullshitting you. As God is my witness, he said, oh, the brand is called Digestives. That's literally the brand. I'm not making this shit up. And he was like, no, they have chocolate. And I'm like, you want me to eat something called a chocolate digestive? Like, what?
It sounds like you're eating laxatives.
Yeah, feel free to Google it. And they're like in these like rolls, like Girl Scout cookies almost, but they come in a box and they're in these little rolls. And they're different flavors and shit. And so I went to World Market and freaking went and bought some just so I could try what they call a biscuit. And it's just a cheap ass cookie. It's what like dollar store cookie, because that's offensive to them. They're like, don't say that about digestives. I'm like, you realize what word you're even saying, right? It's called digestives and they're chocolate. Shut the fuck up. Like,
yeah, that's funny. Get it?
You literally. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Awesome.
I mean, I love a lot of the British food, but it's just some of it's named really freaking weird. Spotted dick. Like, what? That's, no thank you. Bangers and mash is awesome, though. Don't get me wrong. I'll eat shit out of that. But that's just, British version of meat and taters.
Meat and taters. Oh, my lord.
It's just, I'm sorry.
I love it.
I can't even say the word talk correctly. Like, when I say the word talk, it's like T-A-U-L-K or some weird shit. It's just how I say it.
That's like talk.
Yeah, that's how it is. People think you're all stupid. I'm like, bitch, I may talk like a retard, but I got 3 degrees. I don't sound like it. That's what I do. Like, you leave me alone while I go put my chickens up, I scare a feller with a chainsaw in a video game.
Go chicken catch.
Yo, my chickens are trained. They put themselves to bed every night. I just go shut the door. I do, for real. And I had this dude, my chicken coop was like $2,000, man. Like several years ago, my wife was pissed. And it's like bad. It's all R panel and like 1-inch square tubing, and it's like freaking nice. in the main, it'll last forever. You know, yeah, it was expensive, but it'll last forever. Yeah, I'm literally breeding what I like survival chickens, like for real. I took like $100 freaking game rooster, like a hybrid fighting rooster, and then I'm crossing them out to other stuff to like increase their bloodlines for like hardiness and shit. I'm literally trying to produce like this like ultimate survival chicken.
The ultimate survival chicken. I don't know why.
For real?
It sounds funny though. I know
Well,
you need it, but
my
it's so
my
funny.
listen, it's fixing to get funny. My thinking was you took like a badass like game fowl, like a fighting rooster. Okay, and then you cross that out too, because like game fowl are more connected to the original red jungle fowl, which is like the OG chicken. You know, they don't produce nearly as many eggs, but they're survival masters. Their immune systems are amazing. They're just awesome. Okay, so to cross it off with like a Rhode Island red, which is like a normal red chicken that lays brown eggs. My thinking is that way it gains the hardiness and produces more eggs. But I have shitty luck, so miles are I'm gonna have a retarded chicken that doesn't lay much, you know. But you know, it's worth a shot. They're chickens. They're cheap. You know, chickens are they're not expensive. I mean, they can be.
They're a
but-
dime a dozen.
Yeah. You do. Yeah, dude. There are some freaking expensive ass chickens out there. And Gilmer, Texas, every year has this poultry show, and you go down there and it's like, motherfucker, I am not giving you $800 for 3 chickens. You know, but people
Somebody
that
will.
yeah, keep people that breed purebred. And actually, Google sometime Canton, Texas trade days. Our first Monday, Canton, Canton. About 15 minutes away, they have the world's largest flea market every single month, and it's the biggest in the world. And it's if you Google it and you see this like picture of the horizon, that's like a quarter of it. It's unbelievably big. Like I've been 25 times, maybe 30 times, and I might have seen 15-20% of it, maybe.
Damn.
I mean, you just can't walk that much. I mean, you walk, 5, 10, 15 miles, and you're like, I'm just done. And you still haven't seen, half of it. But anyway, there's a whole half of it that's, has all kinds of, designer dogs and shit. And then you'll see all these, fighting chickens and goats and donkeys and all kinds of crazy shit. But it's kind of fun. Peacocks. Like, where can you, like, walk down the road and get you a Mexican burrito, turn around, there's somebody selling a fucking peacock. And then next to that, it's like customized dog collars. And then next to that is like fucking like white girl t-shirts, like with the silly little sayings on them, pumpkin spice is life, or whatever. For real, I can't make this up. There's miles of that.
Jeez. That's some funny shit right there.
I wish we could turn off heli.
I mean,
It's just annoying. Like you get it to low health and it hauls ass.
it's not like it was. Smitty and I were tinkering with some of his settings, and it's now he'll crash. He'll still bug out, but he's really low on health when he does, so they just keep shooting at him, and he'll just crash. Normally he'll crash like at a monument, but it changed some of his mechanics. I still want to tweak him some more. I want him to be like he used to be, and he just attacks you until he dies. That's what I want.
Yeah, because I know last wipe, I got him really low and then he just disappeared.
I hate that shit. But try him again sometimes, because we've been tweaking him, basically like nerfing him essentially.
Yeah.
Because it's if you do 30% of his health in a fairly quick, he'll just leave. Which makes sense. I mean, I would too. Some crazy fuck, sitting back with a machine gun shooting at me, I'm gonna dip too.
Just because I have a minigun doesn't mean he has to leave.
It's this crazy country dumbass shooting at me with a machine gun. A long time ago, we used to play this first-person shooter game called Black Hawk Down. Way back, I'm like dial-up days, way back in the day. We had like a website and a clan, and was part of this thing called Armageddon 5, which is like a worldwide first-person shooter event. They still do it to this day. But we had a LAN party. I managed this computer company. We had LAN parties, big LAN parties, like twice a year. And we had one a week, but then like a big one twice a year. Anyway, we ended up having several friends of ours from around the country come down. We paid for my hotel, or you know, one of them stayed, or a couple of them stayed in my boss's like backyard, like a mother-in-law house and shit. And it was so crazy to like hang out with people that you've been gaming with for like the past year. You know, them coming to our, of course, my ass, you know, we're country as fuck. So we're like, dude, we're gonna make some chicken and get fucking drunk. Let's go.
Chicken and moonshine.
Yeah, and so we're over there getting hammered and playing and swimming in the pool and shit. And, you know, yeah, and what's weird is you still call them by like their gamer name. So like, Hippo, come here, have another shot. You know, it's so weird.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Like, I have a buddy that I've been that I met way back in frickin' Wrath of the Lich King. And we raided together and stuff like that. We've been off and on for like the last fucking 12 years playing the game together. And I still call him Tone Dog, which was his hunter's name when I met him.
It's so just so weird how you'll still, and I've got friends that same shit, you know, freaking Icarus and Butters and Puppy and Hippo, and you still call them that. Get to be friends with them in real life. A couple of them moved to not the town I lived in, but a neighboring town. So we like hang out, go ride motorcycles and shit together, and you know, still call each other, you know, Puppy. And they call me Psycho because that was my gamer tag for years and years.
That's fun.
I had a hunter named Trap. That tells you how far back that goes. Of course, nowadays the word trap is a whole other meaning, but that's a different story.
Have one called Scattershot, right?
Yeah.
If it was me, it would be Scatterbrain, but you know.
That's all of us. I like when I go to a store and like the clerk or whatever does something like a blonde moment or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, I'm having one of those days." I'm like, "I've had years like that," and then they always laugh, you know, make themselves feel a little better. Because it's not, you know, a blonde moment.
China.
China, this motherfucker just got a serial number, which makes sense, you know.
Yeah, when I'm on this game, I give Chris anxiety because I do this weird thing where I jump up and down trying to get shit right in the right place where it's supposed to be, and he's like, "Put
instead of using something to stand on."
No, but this is the best part, right? I'm sitting here like, Savage, I need a furnace so I can stand on something to get height so I can reach my ceiling. Tell him the rest, Savage. Take it away.
Oh, and I was like, dude, and while she's saying that, I already have a feeling of what the problem. Oh, she wanted a refinery, and she said, "Can you place refineries in the base?" And I said, "Not on a foundation," which meaning she needed to get up high. So I'd already figured out the problem and the resolution. I turned around, didn't have any wood, so I used my chainsaw to cut down some wood real fast. And I was like, "Go there, show me." And then just, you know, place like a half wall, put a triangle on it, you know, just your basic rust scaffolding. And the look on her face, she felt so sad that she didn't think about that, you know.
Literally, he just built like 2 levels of freaking
just a little scaffolding
in the middle of the room. Like I couldn't reach the middle of the room.
But in your defense, my first thought process was it may be in that room that has all the skulls and all that crap on the table, and you can't reach it. You know, you don't want to have to disassemble it all to place scaffolding. No, it was just an open freaking room with some rugs on the floor that you could do it, which I was glad for. You know, but you're in creative brain instead of like logical thinking brain at that point.
Well, not just that either, but I wasn't actually wanting a refinery. I was wanting
Ellie's shooting me and I'm in freaking outpost, or I'm over here in mining outpost and Ellie's shooting at me.
But anyways, then I was like, I literally was just like, I just want a furnace, and then you gave me a refinery. I was like, can I put a refinery in base? I was like, I don't think I could. I was asking for a furnace to stand on because that's what Chris taught me to stand on in the middle of the game. He's like, use a furnace, use a furnace.
Furnaces work perfect, yeah. You can stay on top of furnaces.
I know, that's why I was looking for one. I was like, I couldn't get a furnace made because I didn't have any low grade at the time. Alright, I need fish. I need 10 fish. I don't even know if there's that many different kinds of fish in the game.
There's close to it.
Not even 9. Alright, I'm gonna go and lock myself in a room, and I need to go to bed. I got this weird thing called work. Right. Apparently it's something I gotta do for a living.
I gotta go do a soccer game later on.
You make it sound so dreadful.
And I'm doing a hayride tomorrow. Can't make that shit up.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
It's at the people that I work for. They're also the leaders of the church, and every year
Who the
they have
hell
a
are
chili
you shooting
cook-off. They have a chili cook-off every year. And it's like a hayride. It's kind of cool. They go a hayride and go through the cemetery and shit. Pretty cool.
Who would want a
Damn,
hayride
he's-
through the...
That heli's blowing somebody up right now.
Or somebody's blowing the heli up. Sounds like somebody's shooting at it.
Oh, I hear heli, but I don't hear anybody shooting at heli.
Yeah, I can hear it too, and it's dropping fucking missiles on somebody.
Maybe that's what I'm hearing, is the heli dropping missiles. I thought I heard somebody shooting at it. Yeah, somebody's shooting at it. I think. Unless I'm hearing shit. Which wouldn't be the first time.
No, that's heli's guns here.
Oh, okay. I wonder who it's shooting at.
I don't know who it's shooting at, but somebody was attacking it.
Well, whoever it was didn't die because it would have showed up in chat.
Yeah.
So they survived, whoever it was.
Damn, would have made for good entertainment.
That's messed up.
I mean, lie to me.
I had a joke, but I wasn't gonna say it. Jeez. Well, Barracuda dude got all kinds of weapons on his wall. Holy shit.
Barracuda, dude?
Yeah, 1972 Barracuda something. That's his name. You ever seen him online?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, his name is like the year, make, and model of a car.
Huh.
Which, I mean, I can't fault that, you know?
Not really.
Not exactly my cup of tea on a car, but I mean, it could be worse. It could be like 09 Prius, you know? At least it's a Barracuda.
Say at least it's the actual car,
Yeah, like an old school muscle car.
and not like a little Matchbox fucking pull back and let it drive
Yeah.
thing.
Dude, I used to have a little decked out freaking Honda Civic, and I hate that. But it, dude, it's like a $4,000 or $5,000 car, and I dumped like 20 grand into it, and
Well,
it did a whole ass. But
I
at
just
the end of the
scared
day,
myself.
it was still a a $5,000 Honda.
Yeah. Don't laugh too hard. I actually just scared the shit out of myself.
What did?
Easily done. I did, because I put a...
You scared the shit out of you?
Yeah, I scared the shit out of myself because I went to go put a gun up on one of these weapon racks, and I accidentally pulled the trigger instead of mounting it, and so I shot it off, and it scared the shit out of myself.
Have you ever been out? I'm hoping you have, and I'm hoping I'm not alone. But have you ever been out mining and like you end up shooting the shit out of the node instead of using your jackhammer?
Yeah.
Fucking hate that.
Oh, yeah.
And then you
I've done
like
that.
look around to see if anybody fucking saw you be a dipshit.
What's even worse is when you do it on a PvP server and you freak yourself out and you start trying to figure out who's shooting at you.
Yeah, it's like, oh god.
It's like I just got to the damn node I'm getting shot at, and then you realize, oh, that's me.
Well, it's loud. I mean, usually when you're out mining, it's all quiet and you're just like la la la, just gathering. Also, what the fuck?
It's funny.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
It's funny.
I shot the shit out of the node. I've done it so many times, but it's human nature. Oh, Ching Bling serial number left.
Yep. He was unresponsive.
That's happened to me before. Look off the screen, just all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're unresponsive now. Like, oh, okay. That's
Did you hear
new.
about the Asian parents that had a black baby? They named it something Wong. It's fucked up.
Yes, that's so good.
But you're gonna use that joke tonight at work.
You guarantee you bet your ass I'm going to.
Because people look at you too like, oh my god, they're all starting to think about genetics, and then you go something Wong, and they're like, yeah, it's fucked up.
Oh, but you bet your ass I'm gonna be using that shit.
One of the best jokes I've ever heard in my life was from the race that we're making fun of. The two best black jokes I've ever heard in my entire life came from a good friend of mine named Eric, you know, black dude. And I don't even want to repeat them, but just like, I was like, dude, that's messed up, man.
That's funny.
Well, you told me and him's been together for a long time. Our responses are about the same. That's funny. No, do you know the difference between a drug dealer and a prostitute? One can wash their crack and resell it.
There you go.
Almost there. Alright, there we go. Gotta store the rest. Alright.
Like, what was that old blonde joke? It's like, can you tell the blonde that's been on your computer?
This is white out of the screen.
But here's, you want to tell that joke, and everybody, that's what they always say, right? There's white on the screen. You want to hear a better closure for that joke?
What?
Okay, you know, how can you tell a blonde's been on your computer?
Oh.
The joystick's wet.
I already figured that one out.
That makes it, because everybody's going to think you're about to talk about, you know, the freaking white on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, oh, damn.
That's funny.
It's like, because you have like regional jokes and regional sayings. Like, I said something one day to, we were at the zoo, and there was this dude that worked there, and this very physically attractive woman came by, and she had yoga pants on or something like that. Anyway, he popped off. He said something, I forgot what it was, you know, something, you know, like that. And I came back with a response that's fairly common to me, and he looked at me like I was speaking Greek. He was like, what did you say? So then I repeated it. So now I'm gonna repeat it back to you, because hopefully you've never heard it, and you're gonna be like, what the fuck? That's hilarious. So, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, say, you know, a woman is like, or a guy or whatever is like really, really attractive. And you say something, man, she's so fine that I would go to the ends of the earth for her. You know, whatever, something like that, like an analogy. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So the analogy is, I drag my dick through a mile of broken glass just to hear her fart from a walkie-talkie. That's like so out there, and I just